The drama, I believe, that is brewing in Los Angeles. I'm about to say San Diego. It's unheralded. Like, Austin Ekeler is supposed to be the face of the team, one of the faces of the team, along with Justin Herbert and Darren James. And he's saying, I mean, we don't have a choice but to have faith in the coach, right? Right, Shady? Right, Joy? Right, James? Like, I mean, we don't have a choice. Not, yes, we do have faith in him. It's, I have no other option but to have faith in the man. So when I think about what is brewing in Los Angeles, this is bad, y'all. Like, real bad. And it might get worse because they play the Chicago Bears without the Chicago Bears starting quarterback Sunday night with the whole world watching. Joy, how much trouble and is trouble brewing for the Chargers?
Trouble.
Yeah, Bernie Mac said it best. If I get up, it's going to be trouble.
Trouble. This is bad. That's bad. He said we have no choice.
No choice, right?
Yeah.
We do a lot of relationship analogies on this show. If you say that about your partner, like, how are things going? Fine.
Start packing up.
It's out of here. We've already been planning on an exit plan.
Oh,
And then to follow it up and not really clarify it also, that like we don't need to read between the lines here, because he could have very easily said, like, I was just being emotional and, you know, we have complete faith in him, blah blah blah. We would have not even probably done this topic. It is trouble, because if they don't win this game, it's a disaster. And they should not be in this position to begin with.
Correct.
If I told you this was the position that they would be in, that they would be going in to a game in prime time against the Chicago Bears at home with the Chicago Bears backup quarterback, and the season was on the line. If I told you that before the season started, you'd be like, all right, lay off the juice, Joy. It's a bad situation. The fact that we don't even feel comfortable that they're going to win this game. We should be thinking, we shouldn't even be talking about this game. Like, let's be serious. We should not even be talking about this game. No disrespect to the Bears, but, like, you got your backup quarterback. You've been struggling all season long. This is a way more talented team. You just paid your quarterback like $260 million.
Quarter bill.
Cash money.
Quarter bill.
You know what I'm saying? So we really shouldn't be talking about this game. But we have to, because the Chargers are a bad team. Like, the Bears are a bad team, and the Chargers, your record says you're a bad team.
Yeah, this is trouble. This is trouble. This is big trouble. And the reason why it's trouble, Shady, and it could have been different for you, but I want to, as offensive players, when you have a defensive coach, and you played with McDermott, so he was a defensive coach. They not even your coach, really. They not in your meetings on offense. They not putting in no game. They not even coaching. So if he think like this, could you imagine what Derwin James and them boys is thinking? The people that he coaches? If this is coming from an offensive player, it's real easy to say, man, he our coach. It is real easy to say that to the question they asked him. For you to say this lets me know that they don't believe in him in that locker room. Point blank, period. Because if he feels like this on the offensive side of the ball, it's plenty more people on the offensive side of the ball that feel the same way. And it's definitely people on the defensive side of the ball that he coaches that feels that way. Once a coach loses a locker room, it's over. Once a head coach loses a lot, it ain't no getting it back. It's over. It's trouble for everybody. It is trouble for everybody. This is going downhill.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. I'm just thinking how, like, I put myself in the locker room right now, and if they ask me a simple question, like, how's practice? It was good. It was bad. Or, that's how I truly feel. And then I'm like, well, I guess it was good. It had to be good. What do you mean? And if your star player, who we look at Ekeler as if he's like a player like face of the franchise, one of them, right? The other dudes think the same way, because they all talk.
100.
If I say that, yeah, bro, I'm coach tripping. I'm tired of him.
No doubt.
I say it to you. Yeah, I'm tired of him too. And that's how they think. So I think he has lost the locker room, and you have to win this game. And even if you don't win this game, they're still lost. The players are seeing it.
It's a wrap.
Right? Even when you're speaking things like that. So they in big trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to say it, because I do like Brandon Staley. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good guy. I think some of his calls are questionable, right? Some of the calls he makes. But on the offense side, I think they're losing it. And then on defense, obviously, you talked about it. as a defensive coach, they definitely losing. So
the finger pointing has started.
Yeah, and that ain't good.
That has started. Everybody here like this. And why do I say that? Because Austin Ekeler, I believe he's one of the most long-tenured Chargers. I think it's probably Keenan Allen and then Austin Ekeler. So if you have one of the longest-tenured players finger pointing, this is how it really goes. Because, James, I feel differently about the phrase losing the locker room. I don't necessarily agree with what that means, but I do agree with the sentiment behind it. Austin Ekeler saying not believing in a coach. So the offense is probably like, man, our defense sucks. It's probably what they're thinking to themselves. Like, our defense sucks. If y'all would hold somebody, we'd be all right. The defense is probably saying, bruh, Herbert, if you would close out one of these games, you can pay $250, bruh. And 3 out of our 4 losses, you can't close it out. So offense is probably blaming the defense. Defense is probably blaming the offense. And the coaches are probably looking at the players, and the players are looking at the coaches. So everybody just sitting here finger pointing. So I think, Shady, so much is at stake because winning cures all.
Before I even respond to that, why you don't like the term lose the locker room?
Because I think it's a figure of speech that journalists created who don't necessarily know what losing the locker room means. Because how can you find the locker room? Like, you can't lose something that was never literally found in the first place. I don't think losing the locker room exists because what's it look like?
Okay, so let me try to
break it down for me, please.
Yeah, break it down for you real quick. So when a coach gets there, right, you don't know nothing about this coach, right? Maybe a resume, you don't know about that. The players don't be knowing about resumes. That's a really good coach. He comes there, I'm a new coach, has a press conference, he addresses the team. The first day address the teams, all right, this is our team, this is our coach, we riding for him. So the locker room's found. It's found right there. Now, when you lose the locker room, it's like, when he has that same meeting, he like, here you go with this again. Here you go with this again. And I feel like that's what the Chargers are at right now. They're at that level where now when he comes to speak to the team, it's like, man, I don't believe that. I can't follow you. I can't think in my mind that if I do everything you say and everything you coach and I believe in it, we gonna win. I don't believe that. So when I say lose the locker room, I'm talking about that, where the faith, the trust is going. I can't imagine myself being in a Chargers uniform. It look good too, that blue.
They do look good.
Playing every game the way they play, the calls they make, how he's coaching, with the coach, with the players, and trust him. So when you say lost locker room, when you have a response from one of your star players, the way that Austin Ekeler responded, that's called losing the locker room.
Let me piggyback on that too really quick, because I got drafted in 07. That was the last year of double days, right? Coach Mike McCarthy, two a days. Two a days. It was a grind, right? Coach Mike McCarthy was killing us out there, right? Like, and he had captains meetings and all. They like, man, practices, we ain't gonna make it through the season. He ain't changed nothing, right? This is how I do it. He was a new head coach coming in. This is how I do it. Charles Woodson and those boys like, Coach, we ain't gonna make it. That locker room talk started being like that. You got what I'm saying? And we like, man, Coach Mike he don't care about us. He don't care about us. And everybody going out to practice, I can't practice today. But the locker room, they like, we working too hard. And Coach Mike was losing the locker room. The very next year, he came in there, he said, this is our schedule. We got practice on Tuesday, off on Wednesday, spa day on Thursday, track practice on Friday. We like, Coach Mike. Hey, we in the locker room. Coach Mike know what he doing. you got, and we wanted to go out there and we wanted to ride for Coach Mike because we didn't want that schedule to change, right? So the locker room was his. Anybody can play. Shut up. What you talking about? Coach Mike know what he doing. And then another example. We were winning a lot of games running the same plays, and we started losing running the same plays. And in that locker room, it was, man, Coach Mike calling the same thing on third down. When we losing, but when we was winning, hey, all the plays is working. You got what I'm saying? So these players is in that locker room, whether it's defense or offense. Man, Kellen Moore, what are you doing on third down? Man, Coach, what kind of calls he calling on third down? All this stuff is talking, and that's how you win and lose the locker room.
Joy, do you think the Chargers have lost faith based upon this quote? Let me not say the whole Chargers, but at least Austin Ekeler. Do you think faith has been lost in Brandon Staley? Context, they give up a 28-point lead in the playoffs. They started off 2-4, lost to the Dolphins, lost to the Titans, lost to the Cowboys on prime time, lost to the Chiefs. A lot of losses. Do you think the faith is lost?
I don't know that I can say it's completely lost, but the conversations are being had. It's locker rooms are not that dissimilar to any other kind of workplace. What Shady said is really the point. If you have a leader and they're telling you need to follow me, you need to do these things. If you do these things, we're going to have success. And we're doing these things and we're not having success. You're going to stop trusting that their process works, and they're not having success. And as you mentioned, he is a defensive coach. They're last in pass defense, 31st in total defense, 25th in scoring defense. That's you. That's what you're supposed to bring to the table. If the offense is struggling, which they also are, 40% of their offensive drives have ended with a punt. If your offense is struggling and your defense is struggling, and you're supposed to take care of the defense, at least we have everybody can blame everybody here. There's problems across the board. So I think the faith is teetering. And like you guys said, the conversations are being had. They're in group chats like, we're not doing this right. You have coach talking about this. I'm tired of hearing about this same thing, whatever the mantras is. All the stories start getting old. All the motivational speeches start feeling weird. But it could be lost. It's going to be lost after this game.
It's lost.
If they lose this game, it's a wrap. It ain't no getting it back. But
if they win,
it's
a wrap.
Listen,
they have a stretch of games that they could stabilize the ship. Like if they can win the next few games, they have a bit of an easier stretch than some other teams with their schedule coming up. If you win this game, you just kind of let a little air out of the room and then build on that. So they have the Bears, they have the Jets. Lions is no good. They have the Packers, sorry. But if you can get through that stretch, you know what I mean? Get through that stretch, 3-1. Maybe everybody, kind of starts to hug each other again.
500. I just
think that, man, once a good coach gone bad,
gone forever.
He's gone forever.
Acho. Go ahead.
And even with Brandon Staley, like, I won't be surprised if he gets fired before this year's out. Think about it, though. Talk about losing the locker room when the players are not believing what you're saying no more, right? Like, I've been on teams where we haven't been good. Andy Reid, he was a great coach, but we always didn't have great seasons. There were years that we went 4-12, but every time he talked to us, we believe, we're going to win this game. We'll turn around. No, we didn't do it, but we still believed in the coach.
Here's my issue, the rub with what y'all saying, and I find this conversation fascinating. Hope you, the viewer at home, do as well. The rub with what I think you're saying is, even if they stop believing, they're not going to stop doing. I think I experienced.
What you mean? Stop doing? What do you mean?
Meaning, like 2015 Chip Kelly. I would say Chip Kelly severely lost the locker room. The first sin he committed, he traded LeSean McCoy, and he traded LeSean McCoy, and we didn't really get much great in return. Kiko Alonso. So that's the first thing he did. Then he had the opportunity to sign Jeremy Maclin, and we let Maclin walk.
Right.
We let Maclin walk to the Chiefs. Now I'm like, Coach, what you doing? Then we had the opportunity the year before, I believe, to retain Deshaun Jackson. I think he cut Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
So now we're literally chaos. Then Nick Foles had 27 touchdowns. True story, James Jones. 2 interceptions in the 2013 season. 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We get rid of Nick Foles, and we bring in Sam Bradford. So now I'm really like, Coach, what are you doing? Now, in the running back room, we go get DeMarco Murray, who we know needs a fullback, and we ain't got no fullback. We get Ryan Matthews from the Chargers, and neither of them are LeSean McCoy. The locker room was gone. As it pertains to what Shady, Joy, and James, I believe, are talking about losing the locker room. But jobs still had to be done. Plays still had to be gone out there and executed. So that's why, Shady, when you talk about
attitude, though. So saying all that, it's like when dudes are going crazy hard, right? Doing their jobs. But it's one thing to do your job, and it's another thing to do your job to the full max. Right? I've been there where, and I hate to say this, but I'm blocking the guy, right? Because I'm full engaged. We're trying to win together. And times there's coaches. That happens though. That's a natural. That's naturally that happens. So when you say that, I know that when you looked at Chip Kelly, when we were rocking, we were going to the playoffs, we were a good team. Compared to that year, it's like, all right, Coach, what's up? For example, he comes sit down, we all get up. That's a sign. We don't want to sit next to you, Coach. It's time for you to go. That's why a lot of even the owners, when they make different moves to the certain players, I've had coaches, hey, how you feel about the coach? How's the locker room? How's the players? You never had an owner ask you that? Like, no question. So I've been there where they think, the locker room might be lost. Hey, how you doing, Shady? Hey, what you think about Chip? Hey, what you think about how's the locker room? Because we're losing it. I'm sure the owner's doing the same thing with the Chargers.
The discussion we are having right now is the same discussion that I was having with the fellas when we was 0-10. we was at training table. We're having these same conversations we having right now. We was 0-10, and that's why I know this locker room is lost. It's over. Change is gonna have to come. But I do got a question for you, Acho. What do you think? What do you think Brandon Staley has to do or accomplish this season to even keep his job?
I believe he has to make the playoffs. And Brandon Staley. make it. He'll keep.
Nah, he got to win.
No. He just said what I think. He just said what I think. I mean, I don't know what you think. He's not me what I think. I think if you go from 2-4 to making the playoffs, I think Joy will take 10 or 11 games to make the playoffs. So that means, Shady, they would have had to finish the season 7-1, 8-2. They would have had to do something to hold their hat on to make the playoffs. Now, if you win a playoff game, he's guaranteed to keep guaranteed to keep his job. But if he makes the playoffs, because he's so likable by the players, by the fans, by the ownership, etc., he's so likable. I think they don't want to fire him.
No.
Joy, do you want Justin Herbert to have 3 coaches in 4 years?
The goal is never to fire a head coach. Like, you don't ever want to be firing people. It's not a simple transition. We talk about hiring and firing people all the time like it ain't nothing. They come in with, most of the time, whole new staffs. It ain't just the head coach. We minimize this to the head coach. There's a whole staff of people. It's like an army moving in and out. You have a new position coach. You have a new coordinator. You have new training staff. You have, everybody's new. Everything is new. It's an adjustment. So no, I don't want Justin Herbert on a 3rd coach to start his career. That's a rough situation. It's better for everyone for them to course correct and fix this for everyone's sake. And not just Justin Herbert. This is a talented team.
Yes, it is.
That is almost basically a reset. Players get shifted in and out. You talk about Chip Kelly moving on from all-time great players within the building because they have a different philosophy. No good.
No good.
No good. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.